G'day athletics fans, Matt Lynch here. It's been a long wait, but we're only a few short days away from the 2021 Australian Track and Field Championships. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking of 8 days of track and field action. So we're going to kick off the week with the junior stars and then finish off with the opens, hunting down those Australian titles and those all-important Tokyo qualifiers. This week we're giving you a bonus episode of AthsTV to whet your appetite before Monday. This episode we're going to focus on the highlights of the Coles Summer Super Series and what to expect from our juniors at the Australian Championship. And next week we're going to look at the rivalries in our opens and the who's who of our elites. But before we do that, make sure if you haven't got your tickets yet for the Australian Track and Field Championships, head to the Athletics Australia website and buy them now. If you can see it firsthand live at Sydney Olympic Park, kicking off Monday, April 12th. The Coles Summer Super Series was an absolute hit this year, with 2 world records, 4 national records, and Olympic and Paralympic qualifiers galore. What's more, athletes and fans rejoiced at the return of athletics at the highest level domestically. Here are our top moments from the series. At the first event of the season, it was Nicola Mcdermott who set a high bar for the Coles Summer Super Series, kicking off the action in Canberra with an Olympic qualifying leap of 196, looking faultless throughout the competition. World champion Madison D. Rosario blitzed the wheelchair 800 with a 146.68, only just outside her personal best and world record of 145.53. Chad, the White Tiger Paris, clocked a windy 10.71 and showed no signs of slowing down as he crossed the finish line, ecstatic with the performance. Meanwhile, in the men's steeple, it was Ben Buckingham who drew first blood in the battle for the title of Australia's premier barrier man in the much improved event this season. At the Canberra Track Classic, we saw Jared Clifford in his element. Big things are expected of the dual world champion every time he steps on the track, and he delivered in spades over the 1500 metres, lowering his own T12 world record to 3:41.34. The race was won by Jai Edwards, who ran a huge personal best of 3:37.30 in what was a massive breakthrough performance. After missing out by 1/10 of a second at Zatopek, Lyndon Hall booked her ticket to Tokyo with an emphatic 4:02.02 in the women's 1500 metres. Peter Bowl put on a clinic in the men's 800 metres, storming away from the field after pacing assistance from teammate Joe Deng, clocking a 1:45.23 and missing that Olympic qualifier by 0.03 seconds. 4-time world champion Isis Holt registered a Paralympic A qualifier when running 13.78 over the 100 metres, not too far outside her personal best of 13.36. Meanwhile, in the field, it was long jump events that produced outstanding results, with Chris Metre pulling out a monumental leap of 8.03 to stake his claim as Australia's premier long jumper for 2021. And in the women's field, Sarah Walsh jumped an Oceania record of 5.49 in the T64 category. After making the trip east for the Sydney Track Classic, West Australian Nina Kennedy took flight again in the pole vault, clearing 4.82 to set a new Australian record, surpassing Alana Boyd's 4.81 from 2016. The result was also Kennedy's 6th Olympic qualifier. The Australian 5,000 metre championships were the feature track events on the program, with titles won by Matt Ramsden and Jenny Blundell. Ramsden punished the field with the blistering last lap off a slower pace to secure the title ahead of Brett Robinson and Jack Rayner. Blundell finished behind Canada's Andrea Sekofine, but took home the national title with a gutsy performance to beat Izzy Bat-Doyle and Jen Gregson. Riley Day used the perfect 2.0 win to clock her first Olympic qualifier in the 200 metres with a time of 22.77. It was a huge breakthrough for Day, who fought through several injuries to make the well-deserved breakthrough. Michael Roger clocked a 14.00.25 in hot conditions to break the 5,000 metre T46 world record and go agonisingly close to sub 14 minutes. He's now turning his attention to the Sydney Marathon on April 25. A picturesque night at Lakeside Stadium set the scene for the Melbourne Track Classic for the 4th leg of the Coles Summer Super Series. Matt Denny's long-awaited return to competition was one of the major drawcards for the meet after the 6th-place finalist at the 2019 World Championships missed 4 months through injury. He managed to launch the disc 60.56, but being back in the circle and feeling good was a major positive for Denny. The women's 1500 metre action was headlined by Jen Gregson, whose class was on display for all to see with her final lap assault shattering the field. And in the men's race, it was Jai Edwards who made it back-to-back wins after Canberra, beating a field stacked with talent in a time of 3:39.02. For the final leg of the series, we headed to sunny Brisbane for the Queensland Track Classic, a World Athletics silver-level continental tour meet. With over $75,000 worth of prize money and huge world ranking bonus points, it was a fantastic time for the athletes. Setting the track ablaze, it was Rowan Browning who stole the show, clocking 10.05 with a plus 1.0 to clinch his first Olympic qualifier, making him the 3rd fastest Australian of all time and now the fastest Australian performance on home soil. In the women's 100 metres, Hannah Bassick pieced together a pair of wins in the form of 11:18 in the heat and 11:19 in the final, just outside the 11:15 Olympic standard. The performance makes her the fourth fastest Australian woman in history. Katrina Bissett and Lyndon Hall went to war over 2 laps and produced one of the greatest ever domestic 800 metre races, with both women going well over sub-2 and securing both Olympic qualifiers. Liz Clay maintained her immaculate record over the sticks in the 100 hurdles. It wasn't Clay's fastest time, but she's making a habit of winning and it's been a joy to watch. Brandon Stark managed a staggering 2:29 in the high jump with his best clearance of the season to date before attempting the Olympic qualifying standard of 2:33. While he didn't quite make it over the 33 on the night, the performance is a strong indicator that the mark is well within his reach. Whew, what a series. I'm exhausted and I didn't even run. Damn, I'm out of shape. But before I leave you this week, I wanted to fill you in on a few seriously good performances from our juniors. Our under-20 stars will start off the Australian Track and Field Championship with a bang, and we guarantee you they will rival the performance of our open athletes. They'll be chasing spots for the World Under-20 Championships taking place in August this year, with so many great athletes. We can only name a few, but here's some to look out for. First cab off the rank is 15-year-old half-miler from Victoria, Claudia Hollingsworth, coached by Craig Mottram, who ran a 2:01.60 in Brisbane. While she just missed the Australian under-18 record, she became the 5th fastest Australian teenager in history. The performance came just after a month after she placing second at the Box Hill Burn 1,000 metres, coming in behind Lyndon Hall, who broke the national record. In the same race, she defeated 800-metre record holder Katrina Bissett. Claudia will be one to watch this year. Brisbane's Tory Lewis has multiple world under-20 qualifiers in the 100 and 200, and Perth-based Taylor Crutton has been unstoppable with a string of qualifiers in the 100, both at home and on trips to the East Coast, competing in Canberra and Queensland. Aidan Hinson has been prolific in the triple jump, with 4 jumps past the standard of 15.60, topped by a best of 15.86, pushing him into the top 10 Australian junior all-time list. And Jet Carlin's on track to follow in the footsteps of his dad and coach Paul Carlin and uncle Sean Carlin, who was selected the 1986 World Junior Championships team. We also can't forget some excellent performances from our race walkers and combined eventers, which have been taking place over the last few months. Liam Gilbert surpassed the qualification standard for the World Under-20 Decathlon, qualifying with 7,132 points. He'll be looking to nab a spot that Ash Maloney once held at the top of the podium. Will Thompson recorded a personal best of 41 minutes 34 in the 10,000 metre walk, which qualifies him for Kenya, and in the women's 10k event, Alana Perk clocked a 48.04 across the 10k. Sensational. Well, that's it for this week, folks. If you can't get to Sydney Olympic Park, make sure you watch the Australian Track and Field Championship live and free on Athletics Australia's YouTube and Facebook channel. After a year without domestic competition, I'm feeling pretty good about this year's Nationals. It's one not to miss. See you there.